If you haven't purchased a new gaming monitor for a few years, you've missed out on big advances that can make your games look great. The latest models have gorgeous colors and contrasts that will rival your living room TV, higher resolutions that pack more pixels into the panel to give you sharper visuals, and an incredible combination of high refresh rates and adaptive sync technology for smooth, consistent gameplay. We tested 11 of the best reviewed gaming monitors across 4 separate categories: 1080p, 1440p, 4K and ultrawide, to find the best monitors for gamers of all types. We tested each monitor's color accuracy and response times, and used each one to play games, watch HDR movies and perform everyday tasks within Windows 11. From gamers who need low lag and high frame rates to climb the ladder in their Valorant matches to gamers who want a gorgeous, wide display for multitasking and movies, we have a pick for most desktop preferences.
We have included links in the description for each product mentioned, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range.
Starting at number 1. Asus ROG Swift PG32UQX. Asus ROG Swift PG32UQX has a gorgeous mini LED backlit display that gives you near-perfect picture quality and supports 4K resolution at refresh rates as high as you're likely to encounter for the smoothest performance we saw in testing. You won't find a better mix of size, image quality, gaming capabilities and HDR performance, and we'd expect nothing less than near perfection for its eye-popping price tag, which is the PG32UQX's only real downside. If your gaming PC can handle a 4K resolution and you can afford it, Asus PG32UQX is the display to get. This 32-inch IPS display supports 4K gaming at a maximum refresh rate of 144 Hz, which is higher than the frame rates most gamers will probably ever see when playing their favorite games at their highest quality settings. Its factory-calibrated picture is practically perfect out of the box, and the PG32UQX is compatible with both NVIDIA's G-Sync and AMD's FreeSync adaptive sync technologies for buttery smooth gameplay. In our testing, it delivered a huge luminosity range of 377.4 candelas per square meter, 41.2 to 418.6 CD/M2, which makes it as good to use in a brightly lit room as a darker gamer den. The PG32UQX gives you an incredible picture quality right out of the box. That said, unlike most displays, it doesn't come with a simple standard preset, so you'll have to choose based on what you're using it for. Plus, once you do select a preset, we started with racing, you will have to pick the color space clamp or limit you need for the games you're playing. We recommend sticking with the monitor's sRGB or DCI-P3 presets for everything you're doing. Number 2. Alienware AW3423DW. Dell's Alienware AW3423DW is an incredibly good-looking quantum dot OLED monitor, QD-OLED, that has a few minor quirks but gives you a great picture quality and rich HDR performance across its 34-inch, 3440 by 1440 pixel ultra-wide display. It's one of the cheapest and best ways to get OLED performance on your desk, so long as you aren't bothered by an ultra-wide resolution. In general, a matter of personal preference, that's the main reason why this display wasn't our top pick for everyone. The display supports a refresh rate up to 175 Hz, but you'll have to drop from a 10-bit to an 8-bit color depth to achieve it. While most people are unlikely to notice this difference, it's also true that most gamers will probably be just fine bumping the refresh rate down to 144 Hz, or the highest refresh rate supported for 10-bit color. A built-in G-Sync module means that adaptive sync triggers across the monitor's entire range of refresh rates, and the AW3423DW also works just fine with FreeSync. Just make sure you're using the monitor's single DisplayPort 1.4 connection if you want the best G-Sync or FreeSync performance. You'll be more restricted over its two HDMI 2.0 ports. On our display quality tests, the monitor's default settings produced an average delta of 2.81 on our sRGB test, which is slightly below the point at which you'd probably notice any color inaccuracies. It fared much better on our wide gamut DCI-P3 test with a delta of 1.66, but it's up to you whether you prefer more universal accuracy, sRGB, or a wider gamut but potentially oversaturated colors in apps and games that weren't designed for it, DCI-P3. We measured the monitor's luminosity range at 221.2 candelas per square meter, 23.4 to 244.5 CD/M2. Number 3. Asus ROG Swift PG259QNR. For its small size, Asus ROG Swift PG259QNR gives you a lot to work with. This 25-inch, 1080p display has a huge 360 Hz refresh rate and out-of-the-box color accuracy that's impressive for its price. The display even supports HDR, albeit the standard with the least impressive visual performance, HDR 400, and it comes with a free desk clamp if you don't want to use its provided stand. The PG259QNR isn't a wide gamut display, more on that in a bit, so we only tested its color accuracy for the sRGB color space, where it delivered an amazing average delta of 0.97 on our grayscale and spot color tests. When we flipped to the monitor's racing mode, we found it performed just as well as its default preset, which was great to see. Its response times were among the fastest of all the monitors we tested, and TFT Central measured the input lag of its nearly identical sibling, the PG259QN, at 1.75 seconds. Given this monitor screams first-person shooter fan, given how it prioritizes refresh rate over resolution, that's a great result for gamers who need the best timings in their favorite titles.